Scene 1, Apple, take 2.
We knew this was going to be a massive water show, and the level of simulation on this show was going to be huge. And it wasn't just a few shots. It was kind of this sustained kind of idea throughout the movie because so much of it took place on the ocean. They built this barge out off of the coast of Hawaii, and on the barge we built a set piece, and we could put cameras on the barge and shoot a lot of the action out towards the horizon.
We want to shoot as much as possible on, in the water, on the water, around the water, underwater, everything.
All of our water effects, our oceans, our splashes and sprays, all of that had to kind of live up to the real stuff that we filmed.
The logistics of trying to shoot a ship that is, like I said, 400 feet long, that is not there, displacing all that water. And it's very, very difficult to actually put together.
And these alien ships, after they splash down, the first time we encounter them, they actually are beneath the water, and then they all breach up very dramatically.
Alien ships are horizontal and they go up, so they are contrary to the 2:3:5 ratio that we have, and there's no ship that we could actually put in there. So we had to basically replace all the water that was around.
It can take months to get a few seconds of screen time of, say, one of these alien ships crashing down into the water or breaching through the water and leaping up.
Even though we have a really good water library and we thought about, well, what kind of elements could you shoot for something like that, it really was impossible in this film because these are, 1,000-foot ships that are displacing, thousands and thousands of gallons of water and splashing it up into the air.
When you put the numbers together, it was going to take us about 4 or 5 years to complete the show, and we couldn't do it that way.
We kind of re-engineered how we tackle large-scale fluid simulations.
One of the first things that you need to complete a show like that is be able to get feedback from the computer. In other words, you create a world in the computer full of water or full of any fluid, and then you simulate it, and then you basically wait.
Before with the system, when artists would do the scale of simulations, they would often only get 1 or possibly 2 simulations turned around in a day, which meant that they had to stretch out the production of these shots over a very long time period and often have to juggle multiple shots to sort of fill in their time while they're waiting for the simulations to finish. But after this development, they'd actually are able to run many simulations a day, and that added iteration just helped a lot with the creative process in terms of getting the look of the water that they wanted and the performance out of the simulation.
And what that gave us was this incredible ability to take very, very complex objects and do something like a breach, like a splash through the water, and all of that kind of complex geometry and how it pushes the water kind of ballistically and splashes it into different shapes.
For some of these shots, we ended up simulating hundreds of millions of individual droplets of water in order to get the huge effect.
But I'll tell you, once we started animating these, and the animators realized this is all kind of accidental, that if you have an alien ship and then all of a sudden, boom, boom, you open up 2 vents. Well, when that went through the process of simulating all of the water, we noticed splash, splash, that kind of kicks water up into the air in a really interesting kind of random way. Well, that's great, so we started doing that more and more. In fact, we started using it as a way of kind of indicating character for these ships. Like if an alien ship felt like it wanted to intimidate, it could actually open up and kind of jettison water out. Pete used it as kind of like this little character thing.